Hi everyone, it's Delaney, Senior Inbound Marketing Specialist at Hivehouse Digital. Today, we're going to talk about what lifecycle stages are and how to use them in HubSpot. Lifecycle stages help you organize your contacts based on where they are in the marketing funnel. In HubSpot, the default lifecycle stages are subscriber, lead, MQL or marketing qualified lead, SQL or sales qualified lead, opportunity, customer, evangelist, and other. You can also add custom lifecycle stages in HubSpot, which we'll come back to in a moment. Before I show you where lifecycle stages live in HubSpot, let's go over some work we do beforehand to determine how we'll automate when contacts get these different lifecycle stages. So for example, a subscriber would be someone who subscribes to our newsletter list, while a lead is someone who fills out a top of funnel offer, but they're not quite ready for sales. They need a little bit more nurturing. An MQL could be anything, whatever your company decides an MQL is. In this case, I decided that the MQL will be when a contact has reached a lead score of 50 plus. An SQL would be when a salesperson qualifies that MQL as an opportunity that they're going to pursue. Then an opportunity would be when the contact has at least one associated deal in HubSpot. So they're actively being worked to become a customer. Then a customer, of course, is when the contact has at least one closed deal. An evangelist could be, typically HubSpot defines it as someone who advocates for your company. So one example could be when you have people filling out NPS surveys, they give you a score of 10. So they give you the highest score, therefore you can see them as an evangelist. And finally, you have other, and that is when the contact doesn't meet the above criteria. Now, again, as I mentioned before, these are just the default lifecycle stages that are in HubSpot. You can add custom lifecycle stages that could meet the needs of your business. For example, if you are a SaaS company, maybe you have a lifecycle stage of trial user, or maybe you want to dig a little bit deeper into the customer lifecycle stage and have one for retainers and one for projects. So we're in our test portal in HubSpot, and we're going to go to the gear icon in the top. Then we're going to scroll down and click on Objects and then Contacts. Then at the top menu, click on the Lifecycle Stage tab. And so at the top, you can see there's some automation. We're going to come back to that in a second, and we're going to scroll down, and this is where you can see your different lifecycle stages. So we've got subscriber, lead, marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead, opportunity, customer, evangelist, and other. You can click and hold on these dots and reorder them where they should be in the funnel. So ideally, you want this set up from the top of the funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. You want them in the order that a contact will typically follow in the life cycle. If you have another life cycle stage that you want to add in, all you have to do is click Add Stage at the bottom and add in your life cycle stage. So for example, I might say trial user, create life cycle stage, and now you have it. And this is where you can drag it to be in the right spot. So maybe it should be between opportunity and customer, or maybe put it under SQL. And then when you have it in the right spot, you can go ahead and click Save. Now we're back up at the top, and this is where you can start setting up some of the automation in your HubSpot account for lifecycle stages. So the first thing I want to point out is this sync lifecycle stages, and this is where you can update a contact's lifecycle stage whenever their primary company's stage changes. So this is going to sync the lifecycle stages between the contacts and the companies. So if you want that turned on, you can go ahead and click that. If not, you can set up different lifecycle stages for your contacts and companies. Then you've got 3 different default automations. So you've got set lifecycle stage when the contact or company is created. So anytime there's a new contact or company, they will be set to lead, or you can change it to subscriber, MQL, SQL, opportunity. For the different automations we just defined previously, I'm going to actually turn this off. Then we have set lifecycle stage when a deal is created, and the default is opportunity, and that is exactly what I want. When a deal is created, I want that associated contact or company to be set to opportunity. Then finally, we have set lifecycle stage when a deal is won, and setting that to customer. This is what I want, so I will keep that. If you end up like I mentioned, an idea for custom lifecycle stages could be setting up retainers and project lifecycle stages. You could change that here. You could turn it off and set up your custom automation elsewhere. When you're done making changes, you can go ahead and click Save. So the next step is going to be setting up those other custom automations that we talked about previously, and we can do that with workflows. All right, so we are in our test portal account, so there's a lot of just random unnamed workflows, test workflows, things like that. But we're going to start off with a few examples of different automations you can set. So one example is when a contact meets the lead score of 50 plus, they become an MQL. So you're going to create a new workflow. We're going to say from scratch. And I want to start with a blank contact-based workflow. Click Next. We're going to name the workflow. So I typically will start off with operations, and then I will say set lifecycle stage to MQL. Click Save. Then we're going to set up our triggers. We're going to say when filter criteria is met, contact property, and search for HubSpot score. And we want this when it is greater than or equal to 50. We're going to apply filter and click Save. So we set up our enrollment criteria, and now we're going to click the plus button, and we're going to scroll down and look for set property value. And we're going to search for lifecycle stage, and we're going to choose the lifecycle stage we want. And in this case, it's marketing qualified lead, and we're going to click Save. So that is the basic bare bones setting up the lifecycle stage. Now you might want additional things going on in the workflow. For example, notifying the sales team that there is an MQL to review. So in that case, again, you can just click the plus button. We're going to scroll down and we're going to create a task. And we're going to say review MQL. We're going to say the due date is immediately. And then we're going to say, check out this new MQL. Here are the details. And we'll add in some criteria like first name. We'll do last name. We will do email. And we'll just leave it at that for this example. We'll make it a high priority, and then we will set the task to be sent to the existing owner of the contact. Then we'll click Save. And now we have a task created for the salesperson to review the MQL. When you're all set with your workflow, you can go ahead and turn on. So I will just run through one other example of automation. So for example, if you have someone who has an NPS score of 10, you want them to become an evangelist, we're going to go ahead and create that workflow. So I'll say operations, set lifecycle stage to evangelist, if I can spell that. Click Save. And then we're going to set up the triggers when the filter criteria is met. We're going to click on contract properties, and then we're going to search for NPS. Last NPS survey rating is a 10. We're going to go ahead and apply the filter and click Save. So we've got our enrollment criteria of last NPS survey rating is any of 10. And then we're going to go ahead and click that plus button, set the property value. We're going to look for lifecycle stage, and we're going to set it as evangelist. Then I'll click Save, and we've got our workflow created. So I can just go ahead and turn it on, and we'll set any contacts who should be an evangelist. They will be set as an evangelist automatically. So you can do this for any of your lifecycle stages, whether they are default stages or if they are custom stages. One word of caution is just to make sure that you don't have any overlapping with those default automations that we went over previously. But that is all I have for you today. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on our next tech tip.